The Grove Podcast.
Hello, my name is Tabs and welcome to episode 154 of The Grove Podcast. Now, thank you for listening. I hope you're all doing well and have managed to find something to take your mind off yesterday's horrible defeat to Man United. I did last night, or at least I tried to. I stayed up until 3 o'clock this morning watching the LA Rams in the NFC Divisional Championship game, or to translate for the uninitiated, the Super Bowl semi-finals. And they went and lost too. So not a great day for the Cronkies and not a great night for me. So I'm both miserable and knackered. So what a great start to the week. Anyway, joining me today is someone who always cheers me up. And after some lovely feedback after his recent first appearance on the pod, making his second appearance, again trying to appeal to the Gen Z audience, is the boy, Gianluca. How you doing? How's life back at uni? And what did you do to take your mind off that result yesterday?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me again. It's a pleasure. I do enjoy it a lot. After my first appearance, I was ready, waiting for the call up for my second one. I saw the views tumbling down, and that's maybe why you had me back on.
Exactly. We need those Gen Zs.
I didn't really do anything, to be honest. I sort of just was like feeling sorry for us a little bit. I was just.
Well, what about your darts? Apparently that all went to pot.
Oh yeah, I had a game that I got through the group. Everything was fine, and then Mateus Cunha scored, and then I just wanted to go home. So. They were coming out the board, wasn't even aiming, and then I just went home.
You lost your head. You just head lost.
Lost my head a little bit, and then didn't put any effort in whatsoever into trying to make myself feel better.
Okay, so just cry.
No, to be fair, actually,
yeah,
I had a Domino's. That's what I did.
Ah, there we go.
I had Domino's.
There we go. Food.
That was what I did.
That's it. Using food as an emotional crutch. There we go. Domino's and crying into your pillow. There you go.
Yeah,
the life of the depressed.
The normal, usual university combo that happens every weekend. Yeah.
Indeed. Okay, nice one. Anyway, look, this pod is, I feel, going to be one of emotion. Try and do a bit of analysis. Hopefully, it'll be cathartic too. There is a positive section a little later on, but we need to get through the misery first. And honestly, I'm a bit all over the place after that result. Not really sure what to make of it, what to think. Yes, it's only January. Yes, we are still top by 4 points. We're top of the Champions League, 1 foot in the EFL Cup final, expected to be in the 5th round of the Cup, considering playing Wigan at home, who are Div 1. Yet something is off. Something's not quite right. And when the real pressure is on, we are not really rising to the occasion. We're not clicking. We seem confused. We seem unsure. For a team in such a great position, we look like we're lacking confidence. And instead of puffing our chests out and showing everyone who's boss, it feels like we're retreating into our collective shells. So we'll try and make some sense of that as we talk about that game and talk about also the Kairat, who we play on Wednesday. But before we do, look, if you like what we do here, if you don't, but you find yourself listening, please provide a like, a comment, a 5-star review, subscribe on the podcast apps, on the YouTube channels, wherever you watch or listen at the Grove AFC. It really does help us. We do put this out on video as well as putting it out in the podcast app. So yeah, if you can find us, like and subscribe, really appreciate it, and comment and rate, and we do notice the difference. So,
and maybe with a bit more emotion, we'll be able to reach out to the clips, some clip farming.
No,
this is awful.
We are not clickbaiters here. We try and be honest with our emotion. If that generates clips, fine, but I'm not. We don't do the searching for that. If you want to, that's fine. That's you be you.
Don't worry.
There we go. So look, Arsenal 2, Man United 3. Game week 23 of the Premier League. Before we get onto our highlights, lowlights, I sort of changed around the order a bit. The team sheets came out hour 15 before kickoff, and I think we were basically expecting what we saw, bar a couple of things. So, look, Hincapié seemed to be back from injury, and he came in. So, Timber switched back to right back, and Hincapié in at left back, which I think everyone was in general quite happy about. And it was then the choice between Gyökeres and Jesus up front, and he he's stuck with Jesus after his performance against Inter, rightly or wrongly. So what were you, when you saw that lineup? Were you, how did you feel? Were you expected it? Fairly happy? Good enough? Even more than good enough?
Yeah, I thought it was good enough to win regardless of what had happened. I wasn't surprised that Jesus started, really. I sort of expected it. I expected him to start, especially after his form in midweek and with obviously the Gyökeres stuff, him not looking great. And yeah, I did just expect that with a full strength team, no injuries at all for the first time this season.
I mean, bar Havertz, I guess. Yeah, bar Havertz.
Yeah. Though we would just win, maybe not comfortably, but we would be able to get over the line. But obviously, that didn't seem to be the case.
Well, no, and if you look up, if you look at the respective teams, who really in the Man United team would get into Arsenal's first 11, even Arsenal's squad. Okay, I guess at the moment people would say Mbeumo and Cunha because they're scoring goals, they're dangerous, and Fernandes because he can always be dangerous, but he's like 32 and all the rest. But the rest of it, but even then, the rest of it, and this sort of shows that if you do look at that team and look at how they've performed this season, and you look at the tables, so somehow they're in fourth, but they seem to get themselves up for these big games. But also, they aren't very good either, and we'll get onto it. We should be putting these teams away, and you look at that team. So we're better than them in every department. We're stronger than them. We're at home. Yeah, we should be winning. So matching up, but it just goes to show you what can happen with fresh legs, because they obviously they're now playing the bare minimum. They've got 40 games this season. They're playing they're fresh. We're playing into midweek. Away in Italy. Okay, granted it was Tuesday, should be plenty of time, but all adds up. And look, coaching is now elite. Fresh legs and coaching. When you play Arsenal, you can make it hard for us. So it looks like a mismatch on paper, but we know it never is, and often we tend to play and this is what I hate. We tend to play the badge rather than the players, and they come to the Emirates. They don't want to be embarrassed. They've got their reputation to keep, even if they are can be terrible. They always seem to somehow give us a hard game. So look, from that game, can you find a highlight and a low light?
First of all, I wouldn't discredit Man United too much. I don't think they're maybe as bad as you were making them out to be. They're fourth in the table for a reason. But and even though everyone is saying the worst Premier League season in however many years or whatever, they always do get themselves up these big games, and there always seems to be that these type of games are always different. So I never expected it to be an easy game. Obviously a win is. I did expect us to win, but I don't think I'd have said that they were going to make it really, really easy for us, and that I wouldn't discredit them maybe as much. Obvious highlight, it's just maybe the start, I guess. That's the only real thing. I mean, that's the only. We were in control. We scored early enough in the first half, and that was about it, I guess.
Yeah.
We did start very, very. Yeah, we started well, dominant on the front foot, creating stuff, probing, found the goal, and that was pretty much to me the only positive in the whole game. Maybe you can say the reaction, to going 2-1 down, because there was a period where we were urgency. There was a bit of urgency there again, but it's hard to have that highlight in isolation, considering what happened afterwards.
Yeah, and look, we'll get on to low light. I'm like you. I was thinking, look, the first 30 minutes. Yeah, that's the only really highlight you can take from that game. Yeah, and it was fine. We were on top. We were creating not a great deal, but we just need to be patient. We sort of seen this before. We waiting for the breakthrough. Man United offering very little. We had them on the back foot, and like some statistics just from the first 30 minutes. We had 6 shots to their 3.5 xG to their 0.1. We had one shot on target, 3 open play shots. We had like 60% possession. The field tilt was 70% to 30%. 23 final third entries. We had sort of 10 touches in zone 14, which is that area just outside the D. So, it was a very Arsenal performance. It wasn't amazing, wasn't brilliant, but you could see the dominance was there, and it was just one of those ones. Get a bit of patience. The goal will come. I guess that is a highlight. That was a good thing. And then in terms of low light, what was there a particular low light from yesterday?
I think our general reaction to going 1-0 up wasn't amazing. We tend to do it like it's been just a thing that we've done, like not all the time, obviously, but it has become a bit of a common characteristic of Arsenal teams to 1-0 and then just stop and don't keep doing all the good things that we were doing to get the lead and that we have done, and then just sit off. And sometimes it does work, but in games we have seen it where we've only scored one or and then it has almost cost us. And in this game, ultimately, it did. Obviously, it was from a Zubimendi mistake, which isn't sort of the same as just because we sat off, we conceded, and it was just an individual error. But it's still not the way I would like us to be playing once we've gone 1-0 up, especially because when we did go 2-1 down, you could see that there was a surge, and 3-2 down, there was a surge of intensity, and it's like, why haven't you been playing like that the whole time? Just put your foot on their throat and just keep pressing them and get another one, because that's more important.
Yeah, because earlier on in the season, I think we were more comfortable being 1-0 up. There was like the Fulham game, like we were never going to lose that. We were 1-0 up, and I think our defence looked really rock solid, and there was a lot of confidence there. But recently, we saw it in the Chelsea game, we saw it in the Bournemouth game. We had it in the Wolves game. Where we're winning by one goal or 2 goals, and we allow teams back in, and you're right, it's a horrible trait, and I think we've talked about it in previous pods, and I don't know what it is, and it's really weird. The worst thing that happened to us yesterday was scoring the first goal. And it's like, because what happened there afterwards is inexplicable and inexcusable, and we go from a position of dominance and control. I don't know, and I don't know whether it's the sheer weight of expectation getting to us, that as soon as we have a chance to make a statement, to grasp an opportunity, we're sort of afraid. We don't know whether to stick or twist, and then compound that with our general attacking issues. You get things like we've done in the past, and you get results that happen yesterday. And when you get Declan Rice's sort of mini outburst like he did against Forest, it sort of speaks volumes. And the players, are they feeling it? I don't know. It just feels really, really weird that, the two things, we can be really good, we're in a really strong position, but we also feel very vulnerable, very, very vulnerable. And, last week against Forest, we were saying, no, it's not mental, it's just executing a skill. Just be better. Martinelli, just be better. I don't know, is the mountain of evidence stacking up to say it's something different? Do you see us? Do you see it as a mental issue with this team? Do you think there's something there that we're afraid of winning? Is a way of putting it. I don't know. Do you see anything mentally there? You're the one who's done the psychology A level. Go on then.
From this game, it's quite easy to say that, but I think if you look at the bigger picture, I wouldn't jump to that conclusion right now. It's the point about, or the way you can identify like a mentality issue is in the long term. And I don't think in this season, what we've been really, really good at is bouncing back after we've had results like this. So I only think that there'll be an obvious mentality issue if it is sustained. Obviously, the Forest result was the Forest result, but that was sort of, we missed chances. It's not. I wouldn't classify it as the same reasoning to why we lost today's game. So I would only say it's maybe would start to become a mentality issue if this continues into the future. And the last few seasons it has, we've gone on spells where we've lost like 3 or haven't won in like 2, 3, 4 games. But this season we've been very, very good at bouncing back. The Aston Villa game where we lost, we bounced back straight away with a win. So I think you can't look at the mentality until we see a bit of a bigger picture, and I wouldn't jump to that conclusion right away.
Okay, no, fair enough. I mean, yeah, I'm not too sure. Then it must be something structural. If that's not the case, not mental, then it's maybe a structural thing or a tactical thing or something like that. Yeah, I don't know, or even just I don't know. I like sort of mentioned this in our group chat yesterday. It's like the Clive Woodward, the ex-England sort of rugby manager. He had this thing called teacup, which is thinking clearly under pressure, and I just feel we're not doing that. So I think there is. It's hard. I think there has to be a mental aspect to it. Whether it's the reason, I don't know, but I think the weight of expectation, the weight of the opportunity. I don't know if that's getting to them, and we just need to somehow just get across that line, no matter how it happens, to just get the monkey off the back, because it just feels it's there. It's there. It just seems to be there, and then the crowd and all the rest of it doesn't help. In terms of the game itself, and that result. I know, what was your general, apart from upset, what was your general feeling as you saw the game unfold after the game? Was it anger, disappointment, frustration? Yeah, how did you feel? How did it make you feel? And yeah, just any understanding of how it might have happened?
Today I've thought a bit more about it, a bit more clearly, as you tend to do. Yesterday, I didn't really want to think about it. I sort of put it to the back of my mind. I was absolutely livid. I don't know what I was really livid at. Probably just the fact that we lost to Man United, and the way it happened. Late goal, got back into it, and then looked like we were going to be on the ascendancy, because at 2-2 at home, you think the only team that are going to like push on for the winner are us, realistically. But I have also tried to look at it in a sort of Mikel Arteta's post-match interview, obviously, as well, I think helped me sort of think about it. And we can't overreact. Obviously, it is a problem, but then again, it's whether it becomes a long-term issue or not is a bigger problem, because this is always going to happen. We're always going to lose games. We lost to Man United. That can happen because Man United are a decent team. Obviously, it's the performance that is the most concerning aspect. But then again, City were playing Wolves. City have hard games the next 4 fixtures. They play Spurs away, Liverpool away their next 2, and we play Leeds away and then Sunderland at home. Is it?
Yeah.
So in 2 weeks, we could be talking about something completely different. So there's always going to be ups and downs, and I think obviously the performance was the main problem, but I don't think overall if that it's will be a massive issue, because this can happen to City and this can happen to us, and stuff like this does happen within a title race, and it's never going to be smooth sailing, as we know. We just can't let it impact us in the long term.
And yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things that there was a few interviews going on. Obviously, he does Sky and he does Match of the Day and it does Arsenal.
The Sky Sports one was the one I was.
Oh, okay. We also said on Arsenal.com, in the process of winning, you have to lose or draw. It's how you react to that. Now we have another opportunity. Best place to talk is on the pitch in 3 days' time when we play in the Champions League again. Now I'm dismissing that, and I think everyone's dismissing that. And the better the energy is around everybody, around the staff, myself and the players, especially our supporters, much better. We'll play freely, we'll flow, and we'll continue to win a lot more matches, I'm sure. And yeah, you could feel that in the crowd yesterday. It was not helping. Like things like the amount of time it takes to take a throw in, it's just been a permanent bugbear, and I feel actually throw-ins are actually a bad thing for us as opposed to a good thing. How often apart from the goal against Chelsea, that we scored on because of Ben White to Saka thing, it seems to be problematical. but I think that's for a lot of teams it's the case, because you mark everyone up, and the football you're playing is just be line it and try and just get it as far down into the corner as possible, and all the rest of it. Yeah, we tend not to do that, but definitely the atmosphere around the stadium was quite tense. And of course, when you're losing or when you're drawing, and just in terms of the way we play, I don't think people are finding it interesting. It seems to be slow, pensive, too secure. And I mentioned in the group today, it seems like we can't attack without making sure our rest defense is in place. And it feels like, so like everyone's looking around, is everyone set? Right now we can attack. And by that time, the team in front have well set, and then all of a sudden you've got 10 men behind the ball.
It's lack of risk taking. Yeah,
it's that risk. You're right. It's that risk reward thing, and it seems to be like the attack is getting a lot of heat. And I mean, before we get into that, I mean, is there anything particularly you put yesterday's result down to? Is it the defense? Is it attack? Is it a combination of everything? Well, what would you put it down to?
If you look at it as well, Man United scored 2 absolute screamers that we can do literally nothing about, and sometimes that just happens, and that sort of, it's not like we played well, but the fact that happened compounds the effects of the performance, just because they scored 2 absolute worldies and then an individual error. Individual errors happen, obviously. We don't want them to happen all the time, and they've seemed to be happening a little bit more recently with Gabriel at Bournemouth and Zubamendi now. But they did also score 2 absolutely like insane goals that Dorgu doesn't score that, but like 99 times out of 100, he does not do that. And sometimes that will get disallowed for a handball. Personally, I don't want to see a goal like that. If we scored that and it got disallowed for a handball, I would be absolutely fuming. So I don't want to see it. I wouldn't. Me personally, I don't think it was. But the attack, yes, does look toothless, but I think that is also compounded by the fact that they scored 2 absolutely insane goals. They've been on a good run of form, beating Man City. We maybe played not a great time, and then it's sort of just everything just comes into one.
Yeah, no, it sort of all compounds, and look, they got the game they wanted in the end. I mean, they were set up to play on the counter, and they have got some fast, good players to take advantage on the counter. They got strikers that potentially are not afraid to shoot, like Cunha, maybe like Mbeumo. That they don't seem to be sort of in a way restricted. They had a really clear game plan. Just try and win on the transitions, try and win on the counters, win the first ball, win the second ball, and that's it. And then fine, invite us on, and then use their pace to counter on us. And then the thing is, when we were going either for the equaliser or to win the game, we opened up. I think the subs also didn't help, and we'll get onto that. So they just exposed the weaknesses that we allowed them to expose. I mean, look, you're right, it is hard to pass because there was a lot of shit happens in one game. A lot of those only happened in one game. This was all of it. 2 worldies, as you said, and a mistake in one game. So it doesn't mask the underlying issue. But any other day, that's a draw, or we win even. And but onto the strike force or the attack. There was the statistics coming up yesterday, and they're sort of a bit random, but they make a point, and they make a very clear point. Bukayo Saka, 0 goals in the last 13 appearances in all comps. Gyökeres, 0 non-penalty goals in the last 11 Premier League appearances. Martinelli, 0 goals in the last 13 Premier League appearances. Noni Madueke, 0 goals in the last 25 Premier League appearances. So that's going back to sort of Chelsea last year. And Leo, 1 goal in the last 11 appearances.
And Gyökeres, who we've been slandering all season, is our joint Premier League top scorer.
Yeah,
on 5.
On 5 goals.
5 goals.
Well, and this is the thing. I mean, and this is what's indeed. So that I think our cup competitions have sort of, in a way, masked an underlying issue. And I think the cup games have been, I would say, they're important, but they're low jeopardy games. We didn't have to win in Inter. And the Chelsea game, okay, if you don't win that game, fine, you don't do well, you've got a second leg to play. So it's not all or nothing games. Also, and the teams that were playing, Chelsea came at us, Inter came at us, so we exposed that. Whereas our problem has always been a team that just want to put 10 men behind the the ball, and the only team that came to us and did that, but did the worst job ever, was Tottenham. We beat them 4-1. Villa sort of tried, but they came at us also as well. So and we beat them. So is that the question?
How much do you think that it is a product of how the teams play against us rather than our attacking capabilities?
It's a combination of both. So we have got some very talented, very good players. Look, we scored 6 goals away at Inter and away at Chelsea. That's no easy feat. You know that to do that. So the talent is there, and the skill is there. It is very much how opposition teams come to us, but also maybe there is just that slight element of freedom to that. So it comes back to that the pressure, the stakes there, because you know, when we need the goal against Nottingham Forest and Martinelli's there, he can do some, you know, he doesn't score, but he does that amazing outside of the boot pass to Gyökeres. It's nuts, and there is football variance, and actually in terms of attacking, we're above average. No one's going to like this. We are above average this year, but all teams are underperforming compared to previous seasons in terms of goal scoring. We're still above average. I think we've only scored 5 goals less than City.
Didn't we have more XG than Man United as well?
Well, I'll get into the stats for the game, but just in general. But I think the bigger question is, are we sort of like going out? So because there is this individual game, and look, it's a small sample size, so this is why we want to go out and we mention those stats. Is this really the strike force that's going to win you a Premier League? Yeah. No, what do you think? Yeah. Look at that, and look, Leo's regressing.
Yeah, like do other teams look at it and are they scared of us?
Yeah, I mean,
no, they are not. Saka is probably the only one, and he's not showing it. That's the problem. When Saka,
and they double up on him, he's easily nullified. It's sorry, carry on. No, but yeah, he's easily nullified. but
yeah, no, I don't think teams come at us and look at our attack and are like, this is the attack of champions. They don't get scared. They know that if they sit back, they can easily just defend, and that's why we had to come up with the corners. But that's obviously not going to work every time, and it is boring.
Well, yeah, but it's sustainable and it's a way. Okay, you got to find a way. I'm not. Yeah, it's a way. Why it's boring, but you remember they say, how did we get those corners? We got a lot of that from trying to attack. So it's a way, and I would never knock it, because if you can find a sustainable way of scoring, then, and we need it, because if you come to us with 10 men and sit behind the ball, fine, we'll score from corners. Then if you're not going to come out to us, we'll attack you, we'll get corners, and then we'll eventually score from a corner like we did yesterday. I don't know, but the thing is, can we win the league with this? Is it a case of, someone's going to get firing, it can't last, someone is going to click, and all the rest of it?
I think we can.
Yeah, and so we can thrive on the shared attacking model.
Yes. Yeah, no, I do think we can, but not at this level
where we are now.
Shared,
yeah,
but we can't split 0 between 5.
Yeah, no, 0 divided by
0. That is still 0.
Well, I'm glad your education wasn't wasted.
So, yeah,
but yeah, it's tough, and maybe this is also down. It's down to Arteta, because he's built in this risk-averse nature. And there was one moment yesterday that so Rice is breaking through, and he's sort of clean through. Okay, it's not the easiest thing, but okay, it sort of opened up to him to have a shot. And instead, and this was like on the 15th minute, he went to pass it and he got it back, and he was in a worse position to shoot and got closed down than had he just not taken the shot. You know, and I don't know, again, I don't think we're the old Wenger days where we're trying to score the perfect goals, but sometimes just someone's got to take the ball by the horns and just and Saka does look like he's trying to do that, but he's doubled up. You know, they had Dorgu and Dalot, was it on him yesterday, or Dorgu and Shaw? So Dorgu and Shaw on him. Yeah, doubling up. And if you close him down, and look, he hasn't getting the numbers, but he is our biggest threat. You know, left hand side looks confused. Trossard has regressed. And then it's like, is it Noni? Is it Martinelli? Is it Eza? You know, what's happening down our left hand side? So, and I don't even know Arteta. Do you think Arteta knows what his best attacking formation is? What is our best attacking formation? Do you know? Does he know?
I think left winger. No, I think in an ideal world it would be. It's obviously Havertz and Saka, but Havertz.
But he's not there. He's injured.
Did you hear the thing about him? He'll be nursing an injury for the rest of the season, and would
yeah, that would not surprise me. That would not surprise me. And look, it's really unfortunate because it's just.
And I think the left winger just depends on game state. So ideally, in an ideal world, Havertz and Saka, but then the left winger is up for grabs.
Okay, but we haven't got Havertz. Would you get to the point of we played our best football? Guess who was up front?
Mikel Merino. Yep.
Yeah. Would you go? And oddly enough, it was as a behind. Would you go back to putting Merino up front?
I wouldn't go back to it in from the start, but I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it in situations like yesterday when we need a goal and we need something, because what we have tried, other alternatives have not worked clearly, and yes, we may need to switch it up.
It's sort of not worked clearly. It's just inconsistent, and it's a tough one because, and maybe this is a fault of actually having a big squad with lots of options. And I reckon look, we've got to go in and win games. Who cares about people's feelings? Because I got a feeling that he's not doing that because he doesn't want to, in Arsene Wenger's terms, kill Gyökeres or kill Jesus. Could you imagine?
Well, who cares if we win a league?
No, I know that, and that's what my point is. But
neither of them will care either.
No, but could you imagine though how they'll feel if that happens? Hang on, he's playing in midfield up front because we're not good enough, and that's nuts.
It works both ways though, because they then could be like, "Well, I need to get my shit together."
Yeah, no, exactly. It's a tough one. I don't think nothing is really clicked, and I don't think it's really clicked all season. I think apart from a few games here there, we haven't got that consistency click, and I think that's the biggest thing we need to thread. And look, is it personnel or is it tactics and then opposition? I think something's got to change. I'm going to get to a point in a bit. Actually, no, I'll get to it now. In fact, and look, we should be 100% focused on winning the league, nothing else. Okay, well, you're nodding, okay, and a lot of people will nod. So we haven't won the league in over 20 years, and if we win it and we don't win anything else, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, even Champions League, no one's going to care, because if we've won the league, and all the rest of it. Do you think trying to succeed on all four comps is killing us? And now, or should we be using the squad more, as in play your best 11, get in the league, because we went to Chelsea and played a really full strength team, and Saka played the whole game. Went to Inter Milan, he played the whole game. Zubimendi as well, both games played the whole game. That's not prioritizing the Premier League, and the reason why the reason why you're nodding is because you want to see us win the Carabao Cup, yeah. And I'm not saying I don't want us to win it. But now you're seeing potential knock-on effects of us trying to go for it. And I can understand the benefits of winning the Carabao, and I'm not dismissing that. But we've got to get to the point where we have one priority and the rest just takes care of itself. We've got the squad, do it. If they don't win, fine. If they do win, great. I don't know. But is trying to succeed on all four comps killing us?
I don't think I would say so, really. I wouldn't put... Well, obviously the injuries have happened, but I don't think, especially this game, I don't think I'd put it down to that kind of...
No, but if you're saying, right, I'm going to go in fully fresh. So basically against Inter, did Saka really have to play the whole game? Did he have to play against Chelsea? Zubimendi as well. These are key players.
I guess
you said this is your first 11. This is your primary team. These are the ones who are winning me the league. Everyone else can come in and out based on injuries, whatever. But you are not playing in these stupid cup games. Yeah? And the rest are. And look, Man United came fresh. And you got fresh legs and good coaching. Look what you can do. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot. It was just something I thought, are we really wanting it enough or doing it properly? I don't know. or should we be able to cope?
I think we should be able to cope. The squad's big enough, and maybe we aren't using it. Maybe Mikel Arteta isn't using it to the best, like, of its capabilities, and not rotating as much as he should. But I don't think we should be unable to compete on all four fronts. And that's
because I think that's for next year. Win something, and then next year you can go right. You know, we can worry about all the other stuff. I think we need to get over the line, and I think we just need to clearly prioritize. And look, it's nice, you know, if we do get to the final. Yes, I'm not saying it won't be nice, but not at the expense. I don't know. I think it just needs to be some thinking going on there, and yeah, and in terms of that, because as I said, you know, this game has caused a lot of emotions. There's a whole spectrum of emotions, from everything is fine, we're still in a very good position, to Arteta out, and everything else in between. Now, yeah, I mean, but that's just normal, you know. And we're not here to police those emotions. People feel how they want to feel, even if I don't agree, even if there's priors, you know, even if they can be quite over the top, in my opinion, or even Pollyanna-esque, you know. But this sort of performance, this result, along with what's happened recently, with the opportunities missed and the angst and the tension that surrounds this team and title challenge, it just sort of adds fuel to the fire, and it gives more reason to doubt our credentials. It gives the media more sticks to beat us with, opposition fans to laugh at us. And I must admit, this is the first time I'm starting to doubt. You know, it's rocked my confidence a bit in his team to get the job done. You know, not in terms of the long-term plan, long-term objectives, not so much in Arteta. And in a way, it's not because of what other teams are doing. It's just that we are our own worst enemy.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And you know, if there's only one team that can stop Arsenal from winning the league,
and it's us.
And that's Arsenal, and it's bloody annoying. How do you feel about this team at the moment, about Arteta? And look, because you know, in the 3-word reviews, we'll get to it, and I don't, you know, I think it's nonsense, but the conversation has sort of started a bit about this. How do you feel about the team at the moment, about Arteta? Is it an overreaction? Is it? And I'll get to that, and also a bit later. Is there doubt, you know, being sown?
Obviously, there's doubt, but there always is going to be on the back of a performance like this, and I just think maybe because it's off the back of the Forest result as well, that it doesn't help. But then again, as I did say a bit before, I don't think it's an overreaction, but I wouldn't say my confidence is knocked, but it can easily be regained very, very quickly. Like with next 2 games, and if City lose, then we're still 4 points clear. And if you'd have asked me at the beginning of the season, would you take this? Obviously, I'd bite your hand off. I would take it in a heartbeat, in a second.
Yeah.
So I only think that will fully start to seep in if, in the bigger picture, we start maybe dropping more points to the lower teams at home, like Man United. You can you can say, you can sort of, you can't excuse the performance, you can excuse the result, in a sense, and the way that they played and the way that it happened. So maybe then if we do draw points to Leeds, or if we do somehow not manage to win at Sunderland at home or anything like that, because on paper our next 4 games, title winners, you would expect 12 points.
Well, it's interesting you say that. And look, I like what you said there, that you can accept the result but not the performance, and you're right, it feels even worse. It's compounded by the other results, 0-0 versus Liverpool and Forest. We could have gone 8 points clear, 11 points clear, and then you know, even if you win one of those games, you absorb this defeat, and that's why I think those results are really frustrating, and at the time we wanted to accept them, justify, but I think deep down we all knew there were opportunities missed.
But you can't just talk about, we could have done this, we should have done this. It's never going to be smooth sailing.
No.
And we just sort of just have to, maybe this is the result we needed, the bottom of the barrel, and it will just give us a kick up the arse, and everything will be
okay in the end.
We'll just go on everything will be fine. This will be the real kick up the backside that we did need, that will like send us on like a massive winning streak.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, but I still can't help look back at some of those performances. If you want to be taken seriously as title contenders, you want to avoid the angst and doubt, because I think that's what's going to get us in the end, collectively. You win those games, you find a way, you get the points, you beat those teams, you beat teams that are worse than you. Man United are worse than Arsenal. Liverpool are worse than Arsenal. Nottingham Forest
Every team in the league is worse
well,
than
yeah, okay, yeah, very good point. Oh, yeah, then we need to beat them all. We need to beat them all, God's sake. You know, so no, yeah, that's a very good, very good point. But certain teams, you know, you should, and if you want to be, if you're serious
as well,
yeah, exactly, and it just all. Yeah, it all builds into it. But so look, let's go through some of the game and some of the stats and so on. As I said, we had 56% possession to their 44, 1.19 xG to their 0.71. I'm not too sure how that data stands up given the Embremo chance, but we're 15 shots to their 10, 4 on target to their 3. We missed. We had one big chance and they had 2. We took our big chance. They missed one big chance. You know, and look, in terms of momentum, Phil Tilt, they had basically, period after we scored to get their first and second goals. And then everything else is pretty much all Arsenal. And yeah, as I said, it was we started off well, few shots, few corners, lots of possession. Rice had that chance. Zubi had a really good header. If he hits it, so the header hits it too flush. If it just hits off the angle, that's in. But it was sort of excellent save by the keeper, but it's straight at him. Good height, you expect him to make it. Then they had a couple of shots, and then we get the opening goal. I haven't seen it really properly close up, but Hincapié, mixed performance, and this is what I found a bit odd. I thought Hincapié was sort of going to be a left winger, driving, gets to the byline, crosses in, all the rest of it, but he always seemed to be internal, and Trossard was external. And you think, well, don't you want the player with the tricky feet and the better to be the one internal?
Do you not think that's down to Arteta rather than
well, no, but that's what I'm saying. So I find that a bit of an odd one. But he was starting to go a bit more on the outside, a bit more, and this was one he was a bit like Calafiori, bit hit and miss with his crosses. This one he crossed over to Saka, who pulled it back to Odegaard. Odegaard had a shot, and I can't. Is it Martinez battling with Jesus? I haven't seen close up. So what happened?
So Saka cut it back to Odegaard. Odegaard tried to do a chip ball into the back post.
Oh, okay.
Miskicked it, so it was a bit close to the ground. And then Timber tried to swing at it.
Oh, Timber,
but it hit Martinez's wrong foot and just went in.
Oh, okay.
Timber didn't touch it.
Timber didn't touch, but he was just sort of there.
He was there. He tried to swing it, missed it, but then it came off Martinez's back foot.
Okay. So it was sort of, in a way, a bit similar ish to the first Inter goal, that someone has a mishit shot and someone's in the middle to turn it in and it goes in. Okay, so you're thinking 1-0, fine. We are where we want to be. Control the game. Keep doing what you're doing.
Going 1-0 at half time.
Going 1-0 at half time, and then collective. The only word I can think of is shitting the bed. It was just like, Fernandes has a shot, wide after Embremo got in behind. Another big chance for Fernandes. We switched off in the box. But luckily Saliba managed to get a touch on the ball. And then, we're playing around at the back. And look, we do this week in, week out. It's fine. We like it. We try to draw it on, all the rest of it. But it was just seems to be accumulation. I think the pass from Saliba to Zubimendi was poor. Then Zubimendi just mishit it back to Raya, and then Bremo sneaks in and scores, and it just it's completely avoidable. I'm not one of the people we'll just boot it, but maybe know the game state, know what's happening, and maybe Saliba don't play that ball, to him. Zubimendi's playing the way he's facing, but maybe Saliba don't play that ball. And then even then after that, Embremo has a sort of a bit of a audacious lob that didn't go too far away. And okay, we go in 1-0, win 1-1 half time. Okay, not ideal. We shot ourselves in the foot. We're meant to be a really good second half team. We're meant to have scored the most goals in the first 15 minutes. But we did what we did at Liverpool, against Liverpool, just anemic, nothing. And United were dominant. And then Dorgu, 1 in 100. I don't know too much about the build up, but you don't say it was a handball. I mean, it got checked for VAR.
No, it was good play, to be fair, between him and Fernandes. I mean...
that's right. It was like a bit of a 1-2.
1-2.
Yeah.
But then it's weird because the letter of the law is like any handball in the build-up to a goal is should be ruled out. But I mean, his arm was in a natural position.
But any handball, so it doesn't matter how natural or unnatural.
Maybe you.
But did it hit his arm? Because I think that's the thing that they're saying.
No, okay. The reason they get ruled out is they couldn't conclusively decide whether it hit his arm or hit his side.
Yeah.
So then it wasn't clear and obvious.
Okay.
So they couldn't rule it out. Was basically why. But even if it did hit his arm and they could conclusively decide that, then by the letter of the law, it would have been disallowed. But even then, I don't really. I mean, obviously, if it happened to us, you don't really like to see it.
Well, we had it last year. Was it last year against Villa where they guessed whether it hit Havertz's arm or not?
I can't remember.
Yeah, we would have been the winner. It was 2-2. It would have gone to 3-2, and they guessed. And this one, they guessed the other direction. And look, we've had VAR, non-VAR decisions go away. That's not the reason why we lost. You know, you're sort of hoping that it gets ruled out. You know. But in a way, I always thought we needed 3 goals to win this game because that's just who we are at the moment. So I don't think it changed.
It is the first time we conceded 3 goals since December.
Well, yeah, and we'll get to exactly. So we're thinking, okay, but I think from our perspective, I think we would have needed to win this one 3-1, 3-2, and so not a lot changes. You know, Dorgu then has a chance there afterwards. 2 minutes later, and we just sort of we've come out the second half worse. You normally come out second half better or something, but. Don't know, and then we make all these subs in the 58th minute, not even 15 minutes in. So Eza, White, Merino, and Gyökeres on for Hincapié, Jesus, Odegaard, and Zubi. Now I think Hincapié only had 60 minutes in him, so that's fine. But the other ones, they felt that many three subs. Yeah, desperation. Was there a strategy? But it didn't feel right. Maybe you do that in the 80th minute, so fine, just get everyone on to see what happens. But and also it didn't change much, and made us more open midfield. I mean, okay, Gyökeres for Jesus, yeah, that's fine. And Merino for Odegaard or Zubi, fine. But I don't know. Did you feel the same, that it felt like hoping rather than, here's my tactical master plan to make this work?
I think I was mid darts game that time. So then I checked the app, OneFootball, and it said 4 subs, 58th minute, and I was like, I did question it a bit. I was like, is that really? That doesn't seem very Arteta to me. This seems a bit panicky. And I would have made 1 or 2, or maybe made him a bit staggered. But then again, he has been criticised by his substitutions in the past, so maybe he was thinking about that. And I wouldn't have.
But then do that at half time. Then it just seems weird at 15 minutes. Just seemed. I think you're right. It just didn't pass the smell test. Something wasn't. It didn't feel like this is my tactical master plan to get these 3 players. The Hincapié White one, it's like whatever. It is what it's like for like. It's the other ones, And look, no one was playing brilliantly. So, but no one was playing really badly. I think Odegaard was he's a bit of a lightning rod because he's the one that just seems to slow play down. He's the sideways passer. So it's a struggle one. But Eza didn't do a huge amount when he came on. The only one that actually did was Merino, and Gyökeres put himself about a bit, but no real better than
he always does.
Than Jesus, and then we had another sub in the 76 minutes. Trossard off, Madueke on, and that meant Madueke went right, and then Saka went left, which again, okay, maybe, but he did nothing there afterwards, and Madueke was bright, but this time no end product, and he just kept on overrunning the ball. Kept on getting good position, and then overrun it, or it's an overhit pass. It was just like, and I was thinking at this point, I was like, I know we're going to come back. Also, I don't think we're going to come back. I was really in like a mixed position.
My thought was, which turned out to be right.
Yeah,
I have no hope. The only hope I have is from if we score from a corner. and then once it was 2-2, I did not see us conceding.
No. But before the corner, there was the Maguire handball. I think it was Merino had a shot. I think it's going towards goal. Now the rule is if you've got your hand that keeps you up and it hits your hand, then that's not a handball because it's your supporting arm. This was him falling down, and it was eventually going to be a supporting arm. Did you feel it was a handball?
No, I mean, I was like, when I saw it, I was over emotional and just like, yeah, definitely. But no, I don't think it is.
No, I don't think. I think the Dorgu one's more of a miss than this one because I think because okay, Maguire. If it isn't a handball, Maguire's been very clever because he knows if he falls down, he puts his arm there, stops the ball. Oh, I'm supporting myself. It's fine. So
I don't think he did it because he was being clever, though. To be fair.
No, it's Maguire.
I just think he.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think he tried to block it and it hit his arm, and you can't really. Where else?
Yeah, well, he went with his 2 feet, and you're not good. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not too fussed about that one. But then we do get the corner. Merino 2-2. This must have cleared the goal line by millimeters because I did not see that ball go in, and I'm right in line with the touch line. And I felt like all I did straight away was look at the referee. When's your watch buzzing? Come on. Yeah. And he gave it, but I don't know why he didn't just bang it into net. It felt like he just did the bare minimum to get over the line, but yeah, maybe a deserved goal for our endeavour. 84th minute, and you think, okay, right, now let's go on and win it, or at least not lose it. Yeah, and then 86th minute, Madueke, good play by Saliba. And here's another thing, and it's down to our attack. Often Saliba would have the ball when you want to have our creative players outside the box. Man United are very clever at giving Saliba or Gabriel the ball, and Liverpool did the same. Give them the ball when we need creative players.
Yeah,
but then also Timber. And Timber's often like one of our centre forwards, and I'm getting the feeling, well, surely that should be someone who's a forward. Why is it Timber? And look, yeah, I mean, are they getting in the way? I don't know. Now is it getting the point? Because there's been a couple of times in games where Timber's taken the ball off Madueke's head, and not Madueke's head, Gyökeres's head, and they feel like, look, it's part of the plan, and look, they do get involved. They do score. But I know, do you feel like, yeah, they're sort of getting in the way of our attacking play, or shouldn't we be getting our more skillful players, our more attacking-minded players into those positions?
Well, it's sort of hard because we get pushed up, and then everyone's like doesn't really know where to be, because if our centre backs are the ones on the edge of the box, then where's everyone else meant to be? So you know.
Well, surely these are the tactics they work on the training ground, because they know that everyone's going to be. But no, it's a tough one. I'd like to. These are the sort of things I'd like to understand better. Yeah, if you just sit down, have the opportunity to understand, like what's the thinking here? Why is Timber in that position and Saka's still out on the edge of the box? Don't know. Feels like it, but anyway, let's see, and then the sucker punch.
Maybe he just thinks Gyökeres is useless, so he just gets there instead.
Put Timber in there. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? We'll see. And then then the 87th minute, again, Cunha took it on in midfield, ran towards the D. There seemed to be like a lot of space. I don't know where our midfield was at that time.
Yeah, I don't really know how it all happened, to be fair.
And then fired a shot, and 9 times out of 10, 99, 100. It was a perfect shot. Really well struck. Not a lot you can do, and actually 29% of our goals this season have been conceded from outside of the box, so it's the highest proportion of any team in the Premier League. It goes to show we don't give up big chances, and it goes to show that teams are making the most of those opportunities. And maybe it's something we should do. Maybe it's something we should take the odd shot more often from outside the box. It ricochets. It might go in, heaven forbid, it might go in.
Take a risk.
Yeah, take a risk. That control effort. And it feels like that we need to be less risk averse. But we as fans need to accept that then we're going to give up more. So we were more risky, I'd say, against Inter. But Inter had a few chances. They didn't take them. So it's that balance. And as you said, it's the first time we let in 3 goals since Luton away in December 23.
But do you not think we were risky against Inter because they there was nothing really on the line.
Well, that's the thing. So it comes back down to the mentality and the tactics of the game, and yeah. Well, risk is all about risk and reward. What are you going to lose? You know, versus what you're going to win. So there is an element of that. But here's and this is back to the substitutions, and this is a real damning statistic. Outside of the corner, Arsenal created shots worth 0.21 xg after that quadruple sub. That shows how anemic the substitutions were. So yeah, some thinking for Arteta and the coaching staff to do. So look, first home defeat, conceded 3 goals for the first time, failed to win their last 3 Premier League games. So as you said, hopefully this is us bottoming out. This is, now here's the positive part of the show. That is going to be the worst it's going to be this season. That's us bottoming out. That's as low as it's going to go, and you can't rise unless you can't go up until you reach the bottom. So we've reached the bottom, and that bottom is top of the Premier League by 4 points. Okay, we lost 1 goal difference on City, but we got plus 25, 50 points. And if you look at the form, Arsenal, Man City, Villa, the only, in the top 10, the only team actually that hasn't had an L in the last 5 games is Man United, drawn 3, won 2. Everyone else has drawn a couple, won a couple, lost a couple. Liverpool, draw, loss. And that was very funny. So that's it. And so this is the positive part. So we are still top by 4 points.
Still in our hands.
And the run of fixtures next. So we've played the majority of our hardest games. So we've got Chelsea at home, 1st of March, Man City away, 18th of April. Okay, and I don't think that'll be a title decider, but that's going to be really important. Man City has still got to play Liverpool away. They've got to play Chelsea away, and they've got to play Villa at home.
Tottenham away, who they always...
Tottenham as well. Yeah, they were saying the BBC were doing big teams that they had to play. And look, it can always be worse because for some reason I get Reddit notifications, and for some reason I get the Tottenham Reddit notifications. And I think there was one said, I got it too today. It was very funny. It said, "Don't you realise we could be dragged into a relegation battle?" So it could always be worse. It could always be worse. And look, Villa have to play Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, and Man City.
Are you really worried about Villa, do you think?
No, not really, but I've just sort of said it there. Yeah. So look, okay, Villa is the last game of the season, and Villa may be in a final. So that no, for Villa they might.
Yeah, not for us.
For Villa. Villa might be in the Europa Conference final.
Yeah, but City versus Villa is the last game.
Yeah. So I don't know how much that will count. But still, and look, January's been horrible, but actually, despite losing 1 and drawing 2 of the last 3, actually in the last 6 games, we've had the second best points per game ratio behind Man United. 1.83. City was 1.5, Villa 1.67, Chelsea 1.33, Liverpool 1. So again, it feels really bad, and I understand that. But if you look at it objectively, it could be, and the thing is, everyone thinks, but it could be so much better, and that's fine. However, the Opta computer still has us as 84.4% winning. Man City on 8.3%, Villa on 7. And when has a computer ever been wrong? and other things I have to look at. It's not going to be a stellar points total this season, which again is in our favour. I think 86, 88 points should do it. Possibly even less. City are not the City of old. Villa will drop. They'll regress. They had the most. Aston Villa had the most Villa result yesterday. I think beaten massively on XG, scored a long range effort, and won a game. and I said before, and I think I said this to you, and I said this to a few people before the Man United game. 16 games to go, 48 points to play for. We need 42 points to win the league, and that's only if City win every game. And so, given it's likely to, which they won't, given it's likely to be 86 to 88, will be enough. That's 38 points. So we can even afford to lose 2 or 3. We can afford to draw 2 or 3 and win the rest. That's doable, right?
Yep. Very.
Yeah. And so the basic message, sorry?
On paper,
yeah. Good on paper, shit on grass, as they say. But the basic message was that we do not need to lose our heads should we lose a game or 2. But if we do,
I think you should get some up whilst
I'll do some of it. So thank you for sending me in on Blue Sky X, TikToks, Threads, and the Grove WhatsApp chat. Asti if I get your name mangled, but we'll give it a go. And I'm going to start off with a really good one from TikTok. Robbie Asti, get Cesc Fabregas. Okay. So there we go. That's the sentiment out there already.
Positive, yeah.
On Blue Sky, we got Notorious.
Is it in the midfield or?
I can't work out
to pull the strings.
I think
because he might not make that pass, but Zubimendi might.
That'd be good. Get Cesc Fabregas back in the midfield. He'll do us a job. He'll score a few goals as well. So even at his age. Okay, so Notorious. This is on. That was a good one. Blue Sky. So Notorious AFC, buy striker now. Yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint you. We're not getting anyone in the January window. Sid Silk, Error and Worldies. Yeah. Jano59, we go again. We do indeed. I like this one. Nessie 70, women beat Chelsea. There you go. That's a positive. Barry Otter, lacking any go. And you could even say, lacking any go. Shiny Purloin, Arteta out, maybe. I think. Yeah, there are those sentiments out there. I'm not okay with that one, but other people are. Mr. C the Gooner, self-inflicted defeat. Yeah, I guess. Bongs, a complete shit show. So how it is. Ryan at Cross RJ B Sky Social, lack of creativity. Kai Havertz, no, not Kai Havertz. Kai Jansen, poor team performance. Yeah, and then Michael talks ball. Attack is shit. So easily predictable. We're not champions. Yeah, he's in a bad way. If you're listening to the pod, I think, hopefully we've maybe cheered you up a little bit. And Mary O'Connell, it is January. It is indeed a long way to go. Okay, on Threads, Graham Kofelt, better form wins. Yeah, it does. Leg puppy, sideways, backwards, sideways. That does certainly describe how we play at times. Flood Colm, blip over, hopefully. Yeah, we've bottomed out. Nick, AFC 14, far too sloppy, indeed. Deschamps Gill, 2 great goals. Correct. Sam 13 Jaws, still 4 clear. Exactly. Bank Vol 1962. Annoyed, now okay. Good to hear. Good to hear you're feeling better. Paul Latham, Digny 18. Devil's Fork Gooners. Yep. There we go. That's a play on the badges. And Groovy Cathers 2, bad office day. Yeah. And Nicky Gooner 06 is up there with Sam 13 Jaws, still 4 clear. But this is the one that I think we should have, or every 3-word review every week, frankly. Manny SD90, piss off Neville. So thank you, Manny.
I think mine's quite applicable to every single week as well. I came up with something a bit not relevant to the game.
You go for it.
Thomas Frank in.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Oh, as I said, there's always someone that makes you feel better about yourself.
Spurs still shit.
Yeah, and look, we need him in for when we play them. And I was really certain that we were going to smank them. Now I'm not so sure. Jesus, what are you doing to me? Ask Cannon Picks of this parish. League form worrying. Yeah. Uncle G, Arteta bottles always. Yeah, I don't like that. Dave Eustace, but you feel how you feel. Not here to police. Dave Eustace, need a leader. Arsenal 1886. Arteta, please resign. Jeez. Okay, here we go. Eyes Fennelly, Lambeth Walk 2021. We go again. And Terry Robbins T11. We bounce back. Okay, so some mixed ones there.
I love how people just think that it will just instantly become better if Arteta leaves. It just doesn't.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Yeah, it's easy to have that option, but what's the alternative? And exactly, and it always assumes it's going to be better. Yeah, but it's an opinion. It's fine, and people are frustrated, people are annoyed, people are maybe he's reached his limit, he can't take us any further. You know, all our opinions exist, shall we say? Okay, so we got the Grove WhatsApp group, and it was even discussed on the Grove today. And there's like, if he doesn't win anything this year, does he have to go, sort of thing? And we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But Sensi Tabs, why jinx? That makes reference to yesterday. All the away teams won, and I said that before the game.
Yeah, I saw the message after, and was just like, oh, why?
Because that's not how it works. What I say makes bugger all difference to the universe.
Yeah, if you didn't say it, then we might have won.
Okay, thank you for listening. So my what I say does make bugger all difference. Jamie Payton, I hate January. Well, it wasn't as bad as you think, but yes, I agree with you. Darwit, move on quickly. We will. Alex Monroe, still 4 clear. Daljeet, bullet in foot. We did indeed. I think we'll all agree on the next one. Normie, Arsenal beat Arsenal. Owen, always good for a crack, always good for a joke. Arse cracks visible. I like it. And then Tari, are we bottlers? And my one is worried, not worried. So there we go. Thank you again for everyone sending those in. Really appreciate them. And always good fun to read and hear your thoughts. So there we go. Okay, right. On to the next thing, on to a bit of a distraction. It's the final Champions League game of the group phase. We play Kairat Almaty on Wednesday, the 28th of January. Gianluca, what are you looking forward to and not looking forward to as far as this game's concerned?
It's a massive game, absolutely huge. No, sorry, bad time for you to drinking there.
Yeah,
goals,
nice one.
Hopefully goals, and
I'm going to disappoint you on that one. But
to be the first team in the new format's history to go 8 wins from 8. So yeah, hopefully just that those two things.
Is there anything you're not looking forward to? If there isn't, there isn't. I mean, there is very little.
I'll have a little think about that one. Maybe the atmosphere, you could say. It's probably easier to get a ticket than any game that we'll ever have this season.
Yeah, you're right. If you want a ticket, you've never been, you got membership, and I'm sure it's going to open up to non-members. Is that possible? Or whatever.
General
sale. Yeah, general sale. Now's the time. This is your time to go for ticket. This is the time you can say, I never get a chance to go to the Emirates. I know this might not be the one you want to go to, but this is your chance. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the
empty. Can't be choosers.
Yeah, well, it's luck and unfortunate, but yeah, exactly. Look, excuse me, I'm not looking forward to an empty stadium. The ticket exchange is all dark blue, so there's tickets aplenty. So the atmosphere will be fairly low key. It's a low stress game. Yeah, I'm looking forward to just forgetting about Man United, a meaningless distraction, seeing some squad players. Yeah, just a bit of easy entertainment. Hopefully, it's not too cold, but there we go. I think. Actually, what I'm not looking forward to is the fact that I'm going to miss the sort of the all the other stuff that's going on in the Champions League, because it's you based on last year. It was quite fun seeing the league table change.
I'll try to keep you updated.
Yeah, of what's going on. So look. We have Leeds away on Saturday, and I'm sorry, this is the priority.
No, it's not.
So, what are you expecting in terms of the team? What are you expecting in terms of the lineup
for Leeds?
No, not for Leeds. For this one.
Oh, Kepa will play.
Yeah.
MLS will play. Salmon should play.
Yeah.
Centre backs could be anyone, to be fair. Yeah, Mosquera is back now, and
White. Yeah, so I was thinking White, Salmon.
Mosquera and White, actually, that would be.
Yeah, but then you put Salmon
White
at right
centre back, and
Okay. And then their midfield, Norgard, Marino, Eza.
Yeah, and then Madueke, Gabby, and Kai.
Yeah, if he can play Kai.
If he can, if not,
Paramananus, maybe. Gyökeres.
Victor. I play Victor. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, look, just basically don't play anyone that's going to be starting against Leeds. It'll be very informative, I think. Or if you're going to start Gyökeres against Leeds, then it's half and half. So, and I'm not talking about the scarf. So
I wouldn't start Gyökeres against Leeds. Actually. How do you think they'll play against us? Are you going to do a lead? You do a lead?
Yeah. No, we'll do a pod. We'll do a preview pod and stuff like that. But no, look, they need points. But yeah, they're not stupid either. So Leeds will but they're a big physical side, and this is the thing: all the players that they bought, they're a big physical side. So I would start Gyökeres against Leeds. That's what I do. But I expect full rotation. And look, you're saying, hopefully see goals. Remember when the second leg of PSV last year, we'd gone in 7-1. So this is, this is zero jeopardy. So the effort and the urgency is not going to be there. We'll play it around, maybe score a couple. But also they'll want to come to the Emirates. It's a massive away day for them, away week, given how far they've come. They'll be up for it. They'll know they're playing our second string. So I'm not saying that even with our second string, they shouldn't cause us any trouble. But I'm not expecting it to be just like a massive goal fest, because it's just, it's like you go 2-0 up, 3-0 up, depending on how poor they are. And look, they've not been embarrassed in the Champions League. Look, they are bottom of the Champions yet. Okay, they're bottom of the Champions League. Played 7. They managed to draw 1 against Paphos. At home 0-0. They've scored 5. So they've scored 5, let in 19. They lost away to
19 across 7 games isn't.
Yeah, exactly. So
what you'd expect. Yeah, it's not.
So look, they lost away to Sporting opening game 4-1. They lost at home to Real Madrid 5-0. Inter Milan only beat them 2-1, and then Copenhagen beat them 3-2, and those are 2 away games. And then Olympiacos beat them 1-0 in Kairat, and then Bruges recently beat them 4-1 as when we were being Inter. So not like, there's not 6s and 7s there and all the rest. So as you said, it's what you potentially expect. So and look, I was doing a bit of research on them, but very limited. It looks like they won the Kazakhstani Premier League back in October last year. So it's the off season for them. The 2026 version of the league starts up in March. So
you can imagine they wouldn't be playing in these.
So actually, their games are just these Champions League games, and they've only had like 1 recently. So I suggest that's why Bruges was able to beat them. And I'm sure they've had friendlies and all the rest of it. But it's they're coming into this game, having played 1 or 2 games and stuff like that. So we're not going to do anything other than win. And if we don't, that's just going to be ridiculous. I don't think anyone would care either way, but it just adds to it. But we shouldn't do anything other than win. So what's your prediction for this game?
6-1.
6-1. Okay. 6-1. Okay. I've gone 4-0, just a steady 4-0. I don't even think they'll even score. But I'm thinking that a steady 4-0, that should be about right. We go in, do the job, 2 in the first half, 2 in the second, and good night. And there we go. All right.
Gyökeres confidence boosters in there.
Let's see. There's just no injuries, some goals, a bit of fun. Yeah, low stress game. Yeah, nice. Hopefully we do. I'd like to see Havertz. Hopefully Calafiori as well be back. It'd be interesting to see them, how they are. So let's see. And then it's just basically all about Leeds, which is 3:00 next Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, thank you, Gianluca, for joining me this evening. I do feel better for that. I do feel slightly better. I don't know. How do you feel? You feeling more up for it?
I've been quite good at looking objectively and at the bigger picture, to be fair. A lot better than I thought I would be. I'm not normally a bit like that, especially after yesterday, but I think I've done well to push to the back of my mind and look at the bigger picture and the overall.
Yeah, normally you're fairly chilled, come win, lose or draw, and so it did surprise me when the head loss and the impact it did have on your darts. And that, look, Saka's looking happy in the background. He's got his suit ready for the awards ceremonies. So and look, if you're not watching on the video, Gianluca's got a cardboard cutout of Saka in a tuxedo. So there you go. All you need to do is then just find a trophy to put into his hands. And look,
I think that's his job, not mine.
Exactly. Come on, B. It's time to shine. Right. There you go. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. You can follow us on Threads, Blue Sky, X, TikTok, Instagram. You can find us on our YouTube channel and on the podcast apps at The Grove AFC. The next show will be post Kairat pre-Leeds. And as I said, it would really help if you can leave us a nice rating. It helps spread the word. And thank you very much. And Gianluca, do your job. Get those Gen Zers listening. Get us into their ears. And there we go. Spread the word around Warwick University. And thank you for listening. We're on the up. Everything's going to be all right in the end. If it's not all right, then it's not the end. Until the next time, come on you Gunners.